ever passed where somebody defecated? You now perceive it. There's one terrible stench. Do you understand? So just realize that, just tell yourself that the reason why that pseudo-stratified is irregularly placed, the reason why the nucleus is scattered is because maybe the person perceives something strange. We're now going to be looking at the several functions of these epithelial tissues. Remember that we spoke about their characteristics earlier on. So now we'll be looking at their functions, okay, and locations. All right. So when you are asked in an exam to discuss the epithelial tissues, remember that first is your introduction. Remember I told you we're going to kickstart our Study Smart series very soon, okay? Our Study Smart series will also incorporate what you are expected to do, all right, how to attempt questions, okay, how to study to be able to attempt questions in examination, all right. So you have to find out that the first thing you have to do is give an introduction. Ensure that you introduce every topic you want to talk about. Introduce them in clear terms. Don't talk, we now came from Jos, then we are going to Congo, from there we'll get to Brazil. From no. Go give exact details. Don't say many things for your introduction, because that's the first thing that would make your lecturer or anybody listening to you to know your thought pattern, to be able to trace your thought pattern, the kind of student you are. When you impress anybody with your introduction, the person can be patient enough to go through your other work. So after introducing, you list your tissues and then give one or two details and then begin to talk about each of them. And then in talking about each of them, you now realize that you're going to talk about their characteristics, you're going to talk about their function, and you're going to talk about their location. Okay, we've talked about their characteristics earlier on, so now we're talking about their function and location. So for the simple squamous epithelium, the basic function of simple squamous epithelium is for diffusion. So where you easily find your simple squamous epithelium are the areas of your body, organs, and all of those things that requires ease of diffusion. Remember, it is flat, it's a flat cell, okay? So it requires ease of diffusion, okay? So now basically it has to be for easy diffusion. That's where you find simple squamous epithelium. It's always found in regions that aids diffusion. Simple squamous epithelium is always found in organs, structures that requires ease in diffusion, okay? Some of those organs are your blood vessels and lymphatic vessels. All right, now your blood vessels, you already know that it is important that there's ease of diffusion, so that blood can flow to organs and structures and everything quickly, because your blood needs to flow, and so that substances can permeate through the blood in and out of the blood vessels. Very important. So majority of the times, all of the times, your blood vessels have simple squamous epithelium. Is that okay? So lymphatic vessels, blood vessels, simple squamous epithelium. Please don't forget it. Please don't forget it. Your simple squamous epithelium, flat cell, simple, one layer, squamous, flat, simple, one cell, squamous, flat. Function, ease of diffusion. Why? Because the flat cells are there, they ease diffusion. Structures or organs found there, tissues, whatever you want to call it, organs basically, tissues, whatever. Lymphatic vessels, blood vessels, okay? So in the lymphatic vessels and blood vessels, they are called endothelium. That's the epithelium. The epithelium there are called endothelium. Just that in some other places they are called mesothelium, urothelium. All of those ones, specified areas of the body, have different names. We call their own epithelium. Okay, good. Now you can also find it in your endocardium. Of course, you see it has to do with blood. Anything that has to do with your blood needs ease of diffusion, so that substances in the blood, nutrients and all of those things can easily get to the organs and sites of implementation. Very important. Don't say I did not tell you. Alveoli of the lungs. Remember, your oxygen Exactly. Your oxygen needs to easily go in and out of the alveoli and even in and out of your blood vessels. Remember, because your blood needs to be oxygenated now. Have you forgotten? I know you remember. I'm hoping you remember, and you're not just on TikTok without reading. Anyway, I know you will read, because people that will find this channel are serious students. The rest might be looking for something else. That's aside, that's digression. Then, simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium functions for ease of secretion, absorption, and excretion. Organs you will usually find it in are your kidney tubules and glands like the thyroid gland. Okay, the thyroid gland, very powerful gland it is. Okay, and then your kidney tubules, because of course you know it is in this kidney that a lot of things are taking place or takes place. That's where your nephron is, and that's where your urine is formed. You know that, right? Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe. Next one. Simple columnar epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium. One layer of column-like cells. That's the characteristics. Absorption from larger surfaces. That's the function. Usually is important for absorption from larger surfaces. Okay. Then we have the stomach, the small intestine, and then the trachea, and then your uterine tubes. These are the areas where you will find your simple columnar epithelium. Okay. The other one is stratified squamous epithelium. Now this is where I want to do a quick job. Stratified squamous epithelium can be characterized into two different classes. I may not see mom, so anything you hear in the background, focus on your class, okay? Stratified squamous epithelium can be characterized into two. First is keratinized. The second is non-keratinized. Okay, keratinized, non-keratinized. Pay attention. Keratinized epithelium is the type of stratified squamous epithelium that is found in surfaces that are exposed. You see the kind of layer your skin has, how thick it is, your nail, how tough it is, your hair, how firm it is. Good, because it is made up of keratinized, stratified squamous epithelium. So they have the ability to withhold they have the tenacity to withhold pressure, withhold contrast, roughness, and all of those things. The second classification is non-keratinized. Now these non-keratinized are fragile. Gen Z's, what do you call it again? Nepo baby and Lapo babies. One is Nepo. I don't know that Nepo. I don't know that Lapo. One is Nepo, one is Lapo. Lapo. Yes, that thing you call it exactly. So you see the inner part of this your lip. You see how slimy it is. How, just use your tongue and touch the inner part of your lip. You see how soft and delicate it is. How smooth it is. Good. That is non-keratinized. That's a non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. You can't even hurt it. The same way, if you get to the vagina is also like that. The inner layer of the vagina is also like that. The esophagus is also like that. The layers inside your esophagus is also like that. Do you understand? So that is how these the epithelia, the layers of these structures are. Is that okay? One is ajebo, one is ajebota. You see this keratinized ajepako. The other one is ajebota. Do you understand? The inner part is ajebota. It doesn't like stress. It doesn't like harshness. Some of you are like that. If you're like that, you put it in the comment section that you don't like stress. We know you. So the next one I will be looking at is the stratified cuboidal epithelium, and you can find that too in your conjunctiva. Okay, your eye. And the conjunctiva, if you look at it, you also realize that it has a fragility around it. Of course, the conjunctiva is the layer, the membrane that covers the upper part of this your eyelid and then runs down. We have the palpebra part, right? There are two parts of the conjunctiva, right? One of it is the palpebra part, and then we have the stratified columnar epithelium that can be found in excretory ducts, especially of your salivary glands and your sweat glands. Okay, now to our favorite two, transitional epithelium. And your transitional epithelium can be found, I told you, in your urinary bladder. Very important. And also in the ureters. The ureters, of course, through which urine runs from the kidney into the bladder. So they are related, right? Good. Now we have for the pseudo-stratified, that one I used to act like it is stratified but it's not stratified, looking for who to confuse. Is that one, you know where you find it? In your respiratory tract. You get? When you remember your respiratory tract, the fact that you have to take in oxygen, then you have to, have you ever passed where somebody defecated? You now perceive it, there's one terrible stench. Do you understand? So just realize that, just tell yourself that the reason why that pseudo-stratified is irregularly placed, the reason why the nucleus is scattered, is because maybe the person perceived something strange, you know, and all of that. And then, of course, yes, at times you perceive something very scrumptious, like you perceive an aroma that wants to, oh my God, makes you, you understand what I'm saying? So just link your aroma to that irregular pattern of the nucleus. It could be a good aroma wey scatter your brain. Hey, this food too sweet, it scatter your brain. Do you understand? So it scattered the nucleus too and they became irregular. I'm teaching you how to link things to thoughts, linking ideas, linking other thoughts that are familiar to you to thoughts that are not familiar to you. When you link them together, it becomes easy for you to be able to remember. Is that clear? So remember, today we are dealt on tissues, and we basically looked into the types of tissues that we have. 8 of them. We looked at their characteristics, we looked at their functions, and we looked at the organ. So we'll be wrapping this up today here. Please subscribe and share to your classmates. Share this video to your classmates, to your friends, everyone you know in your school that is doing anatomy, be the person in radiography, in med rehab, in anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, what have you. Please share our videos. All right, we'll see you in the next class, and I remain your guide, Ijoma Uzo. Bye.